Alright everybody, so today I'm going to be doing this sort of what is the best build for each race video, right? Um this is sort of a video that I feel like is very necessary to make now, seeing as there's going to be new players to DBOG. Um so I want to make this video here to show what I think the best build for each race is, right? I feel like um it would just help a lot of people, so I want to do that. I want to help people. Um So, these are the races. There are humans, Saiyans, half-Saiyans, Namekians, frost demons, demons, Yardradians, androids, bio-androids, Kais, Majins, Kanasans, Bojack's race, and Tuffles. So, let's go down the list. We'll go down the list, right? Humans. As you can see, I'm gonna be, by the way, I'm gonna be factoring in what their stats are and their race ability. Okay, this is how I'm gonna be factoring this. So, humans, they are a very basic, generic race. They have one in all. That's quite good, to be fair. Um, they have one in all. So, they're not really specialized in anything, but they're also not bad in anything, right? Um, Their race ability is faster max power charge. So this is another like thing, like very generic, like that faster max power charge doesn't really necessarily benefit ki or melee. I would say that with humans, and I know I'm not going to say this for every race, but this is the starting race, right? This human is a generic all-around race. Literally do whatever you want. I'm not even kidding. I'm not gonna say this for every race, but these like first three, I'm gonna say something like that. Literally do whatever you want with the human race. Um, that's all I have really to say. There's not really a advantage to humans, so there's not a disadvantage, but there's not really an advantage. So do whatever you want. This race ability doesn't really factor into much. Saiyans now, very common race. This one's gonna be good. This is what people want to know. So Saiyans, people always ask me, what build should I do? Well, let's look at their stats. They have 0.95 into health, 0.9 into agility, 0.95 into ki control, 1.1 into physical damage, and 1.1 into ki damage. Now, with Saiyans, their race ability factors in a lot of what I'm going to tell you guys, and that is, I think, personally, that melee damage will be more beneficial to you. So, let me go into more detail. Yes, there's 1.1 into each, and yes, their ki control is better than their agility. And obviously melee moves take up stamina, which is factored by agility. Meanwhile, ki moves take up ki, which is factored by ki control. This is just a little bonus. If it were me and Saiyans, I would do like slightly balanced, like not slightly balanced, I should say, but more like I would have some ki damage. And if you have time chamber, then perfect. You don't need to waste points. But if you don't have time chamber, then maybe forget about it, I guess. But if you have time chamber, running a ki move on your melee Saiyan is not a bad idea because it's just a way to use up some of your ki, because if you really think about it, the ki bar is almost useless for melee builds. Like, yeah, you can use basic blast, but that doesn't take much ki, so it's almost useless really, other than charging up to your ultimate. So I recommend that Saiyans, if you're a melee build, have a ki move on your moveset. It could help you. Double eraser cannon, just normal eraser cannon, handy cannon, stuff like this can like help you, like maybe not handy cannon, but like things where you shoot out a blast and it starts knocking them away. That could really save you in a fight, right? Like say someone's aggressing on you, you throw out that eraser cannon and it knocks them back. That's enough time for you to use your rise to action, right? That's enough time for you to use it. or charge up, or get some defense back, right? So Saiyans, I would do physical, and this is my build. I would have physical damage over key damage because of this, and also because of this, I want health. I want to be a little tanky because the more health you have, yes, it will take you longer to get to this, but once you are in this, you will be in it for longer. You have more of a chance to survive in red for this ability to go active, because think about it. If you're all damage, someone can just get you to red, and the next hit you take, you're dead anyway, because you're so low. Meanwhile, if you have a lot of health, your health pool is bigger. This is more effective. Um, so I recommend you having a decent amount of damage. You know, you don't need too much damage. You don't need as much damage as other races would as a Saiyan because of this. Instead, have that extra bit of damage go into your health and have some into agility, right? Because agility, having about 300 agility when you're max level, it's really good. Trust me. Having 250, 300 agility, like, you don't need more than 300 agility, 350 if you want to be super safe. I believe I have around 300, 350. I put probably a little much into it, considering I have time chamber. But again, I like to have agility. That's just how I am. That's my personal preference. But if it were like, if I were to recommend something, I would be tanky. I would have good damage. I would have good not good key control. I don't know why I have a key control. I would have good damage, good health, maybe a little key damage, but ideally probably not. But a key move would be nice to have on your moveset too. So like if you can spare it, and especially if you have time chamber, having a key move with this like bit of key damage that you got from time chamber and key control that you got from time chamber can be very useful to you. I don't want to spend too much time on Saiyan, but Saiyans are genuinely like the most common race. I get asked this the most for Saiyans. So yeah, that's what you guys should do. Try to be a little tanky, you know, remember health. Health is very important. If you want to know how much health is good right now, I'd say minimum 700. You need to have at least 700 to be able to take any kind of damage, or to tank any kind of damage, I should say. Half Saiyans are about the same, only their race ability is dead ass just worse. It's literally just worse. Don't choose half Saiyan. Saiyan is better. It's the same thing, only Saiyan is better, and they have LSSJ, and hybrid Saiyans don't. That's literally it. So for hybrid Saiyans, just don't. And if you are a hybrid Saiyan, um, I don't know, dude. Go key damage, I guess, because your ability helps key damage more. I don't know. There's better races for key damage, though, than hybrid Saiyan. So whatever. Namekians, they have regeneration. So, if I go a little slower from now on for some of these races, it's because I'm thinking as well, because I didn't really think this through too much. Because the reason I've had Saiyan thought through, because I'm main Saiyan, of course. So Namekian, they have decent health, right? They have pretty bad agility, good key control, pretty poor melee damage, and pretty good key damage, and they have regeneration. Okay, this is easy. For Namekian, have a lot of health, have a lot of key damage, and make sure that you have a decent amount of agility. And I know that might sound bad, like, oh, why agility? You know, it's like, well, okay, maybe not agility for Namekian, maybe better for Majin, but for Namekian, I'd say you want to be using this regen. You want to be abusing this. You want to be using this multiple times a fight. You got to pull this off in a fight. So with Namekian, you want to be able to knock back your opponent. You want to be able to get away from your opponent, get distance. Key damage is good for that. Don't do melee damage. I'd say do key damage. Especially because of the multipliers, right? And yeah, I would say have some key damage, have some key control, have some health, right? If you want to know what I mean by like some key control, maybe like 300 something. Like at least a bare minimum of 300, and then bump it up until the point where like if you're close to being able to use another move, then bump it up until like being able to use another move. Like maybe you don't have to, because as you level up, you're gonna be getting more key control and gonna be able to use more moves anyway. So just make sure you have a decent amount of key control. You know, especially if time chamber, then don't waste stats into key control. Just have it go up, you know, as you train in the time chamber. But yeah, I'd say for Namekians, just make sure you're tanky. That's all. That's the most important thing for Namekians. Make sure you're tanky so you can regen. Frost demons now. Faster key charge. This race has the highest damage multiplier out of any race. It is 1.2 for key damage. So you know what Frost demons need to be? You guys need to be fucking cheesers, okay? Faster key charge. Spam these key moves. Have key damage, have a lot of key control, have a lot of key damage. Fuck all health. Who cares about health? Have like 600, 700 health, maybe. And who cares? Dump all your points into key damage, into freaking key control. Alright? Because you need to be spamming these moves. You need to be spamming them. Right? Because that's how you win. That's how you're going to win. Key counters as well. Make sure you're good with counters. So maybe throwing a little bit of agility. Maybe. Because like that's how you're going to be doing your damage. Demons. No drain from blocking. So that's not... I don't think that's really going to benefit you much for damage based, right? Like this is a decent ability, right? But damage based. So they have good health. Decent okay agility. Damn, demons are strong. Huh. Wow, demons are good. Demon is a good race, huh? Yeah. Alright, so for demons, again, make sure you have around 700 health output, right? Maybe a little more if you want to be tanky, but have at least, you know, 700. Their agility is not that bad. I look at this and it's like, it's okay, right? You know, ideally one or more is better. But like, as you look at the races, it's like none of the races that have good melee also have good um agility, which doesn't really make sense to me. But yeah, so continuing on, demons are good, I'd say. Just do health, get some agility in there, some, right? I would do melee, to be honest. Because of this agility stat being better than key control, I would do melee for demon. Absolutely. Demons are good. Especially their legend form, I'd say, would, Harudagarn would benefit more from melee, I'd say, I think. But yeah, demons are good. Just do melee, get some agility, get some health, you know, kind of like Saiyan, you know. Just play smart, play defensively. Yardrats, they have one. Wow, Yardrats have a good... Yardrats are good too, holy. So, they have good health, good agility, good key control. They have poor physical damage, but good key damage. Huh. Faster key gain when hitting enemies. Their race ability, it seems OP, and there are like memes of it being OP, but in reality, it's weird, because it's like, the key gain really only benefits the key users, yet you need to be melee punching them to get that key. So Yardrats are wonky. They're not designed very, very well, I'd say. Right? They're not designed super well. So, it's weird, right? I genuinely feel like being balanced as a Yardrat is actually a good idea, maybe. Like, just having, like, 700 health and then, like, 200 of this, 300 of this, like, a little bit of this, maybe, probably not. And then, like, decent melee and, like, good key damage and being, like, balanced, maybe for a Yardrat would actually be best because of his race ability. I don't know. Androids have 0.9 health, 1.2 agility, 1.2 key control, and bad damage. So Gray, shout out to Gray, head mod of DBOG or whatever, something like that. He has a really good android build. Um, but like basically for androids, this energy regen is really good for ki builds. So if you have good ki control and like even good stamina too, so you can run a little bit, you could just spam ki moves because their ki goes up automatically. You're only gonna be able to charge, by the way, once your ki is full. You can only charge once your ki is full to go to max power mode. Your ki like slowly regens is like what android is, just it automatically is regenning. So ki damage is definitely better. So just have good ki damage, be able to spam a lot of moves. I'd say having a lot of ki control is definitely better for androids. Be able to spam a lot of moves, be a little tanky, be able to take a hit a little bit. Like, yeah, that's what I'd say. Just be able to spam some moves. I know this damage looks really low, and it is, but this ki control is really good, and the stamina is really good. So, bio androids, they slowly regen health if they're idle. That's what their race ability is. So they have 1.15 health, 0.95 agility, 1 ki control, 0.95 physical damage, and 0.95 ki damage. Honestly, for cells, just be tanky. Again, just be tanky. I know I'm saying that a lot, but these race abilities are gonna help you. This race ability will help you if you're tanky. So be able to last in a fight and be able to outdo your opponent. Make sure whatever you are, if you're melee or ki, because it doesn't really matter, just make sure you have a lot of stamina and have a lot of ki control. So if you're melee, have a lot of stamina, and if you're ki, have a lot of ki control. I'd say maybe ki is slightly better because the ki control stats better, and ki damage is better for like being able to stay idle. Because if you're a melee build, you have to go on an aggressive most of the time. So I'd say actually ki is probably more beneficial, especially considering the ki control stat being better than the agility stat, right? Kai's 1.1 health, 1.04 agility, 1.16 ki control, 0.85 physical damage, and 0.85 ki damage, and they have no drain from snap vanish or snap chase. This is automatically good for slingshotting. So automatically I'm gonna say do melee for Kai's, because this is good for slingshotting, and you wanna be, slingshotting is the meta right now. So you wanna be able to do that effectively, and this is really good for that. So I'd say have a lot of physical damage, probably. That's what I would say. Make sure you have some health. Make sure you have some physical damage. Stamina doesn't matter as much. It's only mattering for your moves. So, and when you're slingshotting, you're not even using that many supers anyway, really. Like, only when you're, like, stamina breaking. So you don't need much agility. Make use of this. You don't need to use too much agility. Just make sure your damage is really high and your health is really high. And honestly, that's literally all you need. Majins are very interesting. Let's talk about Majins. 1.06 health, 1.05 agility, 0.88 ki control, 0.91 physical damage, and 1.1 ki damage. And they have super regen, which is good. Majins are a good race. They also have absorption, which is just a one-shot move if you can pull it off, which is overpowered as hell. They can also absorb fusions, which is also overpowered as hell. Um, and their Majin form I think is good. In fact, let me check. Their Neko Majin form is. Yeah, it's a 3.25 multiplier. Majins are good. So yeah, Majin is a good race. So with Majin, similar to Namekian, be tanky. Majins are just better Namekians. I'm dead ass. Majins are just better Namekians. Be tanky. That's it. Be tanky. Have good ki damage to the point where like you're still putting out damage. But be fucking Kid Buu. Where no matter what people do, you just always regen. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. So be, timid, knock people away, bait them into attacking you, counter them, regen. Start doing some moves, regen. Having some melee is good for when you have high health, like much higher health than your opponent because of regen. So having some melee can actually help. So maybe go a little balanced, but like again, I don't know. I don't like saying to go balanced because it's a bad idea, really. So I'd say just key damage, knock people away, regen, be fucking have like at least 1,000 health, at least as a Majin. Like if you don't have 1,000 health, what are you doing? Kanasan, 1 for health and agility, 1.05 in key control, 1.05 in wow, their stats are just good, huh? 0.9 fast. Wow, that's okay. Kanasans are good. Okay. Um do the classic melee build. Have a lot of damage, have some agility, and have some health. You don't need as much agility as other races do. Once again, just like Kai's. Be a Kai, basically. Honestly, are these just better Kais? Because yeah, I feel like it's just well, Kai has more health, but Kanasans do more damage. And Kai's is straight up better. Like, their ability is straight up better than this, I think. But at the same time, the damage, like, makes up for it. Like, how you use this is gonna be different, right? Um, Kanasans are good. Just have health, lots of health, or lots of damage, lots of health, like a decent 800 health maybe. Make sure you have some agility. You don't need too much. I'd say 200 probably is the most you need. And just go ham with melee. Be a slingy boy. Bojack's race. Oh, Neo. They have 1.2 health. They have 0.85. That was hard to say. 0.85 key control as well. 1.15 physical damage and 0.95 key damage. I hate to say it. Just have like 1,000 something health and the rest in the physical damage and stamina. Like have like 300 agility. Have a fuck ton of physical damage. Have a fuck ton of health. And you win. You just win. I don't know what else to say. Tuffles. Oh shit. Drain opponent stamina when attacking. This is good, but it's not insane, right? I don't know. Maybe it is insane. It's weird because you could either look at it as it's insanely OP, or it's just mid. It sucks. But for Tuffles, they have okay health, okay agility, good key control, good physical damage, bad key damage. You see, I don't get it. Why do races with good physical damage have such high key control? It's so useless. Tuffle, their stats are bad. Like these might be one of the worst stats out of any race. Their stats are just straight up bad. Just make sure you have health, make sure you have agility, make sure you have damage, really, right? I mean, there's better races for it, but I'd say like, yeah. How long have I been doing this for? 23 minutes. All right, let's wrap it up. That's my recommendations for each race build. Um, I'm gonna do a tier list after this, like right after this video. I'm gonna record a tier list with all this info fresh in my mind. But that is my recommended build for all these races. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I helped you. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Don't be toxic about it. This is my opinion, of course. You guys can have opinions too. Um, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hope this helped you. And yeah, see you guys later.